Welcome to Chaotically Nerdy. It's a podcast made by nerds for nerds. This podcast is made by adults for adults and children with bad parents. Adult language will be used and adult situations may arise. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the May the 4th episode, because as we're recording, it's technically May the 4th.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about Star Wars.
Technically? It absolutely is.
I know that technically it is, but they're not going to listen to it on May the 4th.
I mean,
They might. Maybe they'll wait a year and then listen to
If
it.
they
Please
aren't,
don't
I'm
listen to it
ju-
as soon as you can.
Listen to it as quick as available. So today we're going to talk about, it's going to be very similar to the Marvel episodes. We're going to talk about these Star Wars movies, and we're going to rank them. We're going to kind of go through the sagas first. We're going to go 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3.
Release order.
Yeah,
Except
release
for
order.
the miscellaneous movies.
Yeah, the Rogue One and Solo we'll talk about individually after we've talked about the main storyline.
Yep.
So, in true D&D fashion, let's just talk about the episodes, and then we'll do the rankings at the end,
Yeah.
and we'll roll the dice to figure out who wants to go first with their rankings. So, episode 4, New Hope. What do we got for pros, Jarrett?
It's the original. It's sets up all the tropes and expectations for the rest of the series. Like, that's why they redid it, essentially. But it's a really good movie. I mean, it's just fantastic. Even for its age, it's still not.
It's a really good balance. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's real. It's dark in spots. It's
There's
lighthearted.
There's different areas that are, it's not just you're in one place the whole time.
Yeah, and it's funny, but it's also sad.
Yeah.
I'm sad.
It has a amazing score, which I think is fair to say over
All of them.
all of the Star Wars movies.
John Williams. He's
Yeah.
just
He's a master.
there's not a score in any of the Star Wars movies that I'm like, oh, this is stupid.
oh no.
They're all good. I like the way that C-3PO and R2 look, especially considering the age. Like
It ages well.
That ages well.
It's the practical
CGI,
effects.
yeah.
They didn't have CGI, so
What are you talking about? You don't like your Vaseline smudged land speeder on Tatooine? That's how they achieved that effect originally.
Yeah, I like it. Practical effects are good. That's why Mandalorian's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
For as good as CGI is nowadays, it just doesn't hold up over time as well.
I think
no.
that was my,
No,
because
it doesn't.
disclaimer alert, I didn't watch these episodes until episode 7 came out. I watched episode 3, and that was because whenever me and Jarrett were in junior high, one of our teachers played it. That's how I got started on Star Wars, and even then, I didn't care enough about it to watch the older stuff. And so, until episode 7 was going to come out, and you guys were like, we're going to watch it, I didn't watch them. So, I was like 24, 25 before I watched the entirety of Star Wars. And I've only seen it a handful of times.
That's definitely
on top
not true.
of that.
You were younger than that, but that's fine.
It was 2017, wasn't it?
You don't need to watch it
2015.
too much. though.
2015?
Yeah.
Well, that's not.
Right.
Oh, yeah. 2017 was episode 8.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was
23.
23. Ooh, big difference.
But I mean, you don't need to watch it too much because what happens is like you'll start seeing the little things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like enjoy it for what it is, and then move on. You all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a lot of burp there. Now I don't know if I want to cut that out because that's kind of funny to just have a big long pause and everybody
yeah.
checking on people. So cons. I said age because it is an older movie. It's hard. Like
Yes.
there are some spots in
There
it
are
that you're
spots
like,
that it shows its age, but for the most part, I think it is aged rather well. But it does show its age in certain spots.
it has aged very well. I will agree with that. But it's still,
Yeah, it's hard to be like,
that's my con for it.
it's hard to watch 7 and then go watch 4, or even better yet, go watch Rogue One and then go watch 4. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, wow.
Yep. Large differences.
Just camera technology is just like way different.
I think my biggest problem with 4 is the lightsaber fight between
it's terrible.
Obi-Wan and
Yeah.
Vader. It's
It's
Particularly his death bothers me.
I mean, look, that's because we're gonna get.
I don't know.
It bothered me
To me,
because he
it's
just
the actual.
disappears.
It's the actual like crossing of the sabers. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, it just looks so because it's actual.
Yeah, it's pretty campy.
What was actual like
Yeah.
sticks that were like glowing that they used and they look bad.
Yeah.
Like if you ever go see the 77 cut of the movie without any special effects on it, they look bad.
Really?
They look really bad. Yep.
Any other cons besides that for you, Ethan?
Not really. I mean, it's just a really decent movie.
Yeah.
Let's just
Jared?
be honest. There's going to be there's not a whole lot of cons I'm going to have for 4 and 5. They're just like my favorite movies of the whole thing. So it's going to be hard.
Yeah, it's hard to really criticize
Yeah.
it. Though.
Yeah. Any changes that we would make? I'll start it because with the least amount of knowledge, you guys would have better changes. Watching it again yesterday, I would rather have more explanations because they just kind of throw people in and at you. And I get that that's part of the,
Charm.
yeah, it's part of it. You don't know anything, but they just,
Yeah, but too much context
I agree.
Yeah. Too
is
much-
not good. Yeah.
But a little bit would be nice.
Too much exposition can drag down a movie, but yeah, there's. That's kind of what the crawl is supposed to be for, is to give you all your exposition, and you're supposed to read that. But how many people have actually read that besides the opening line of every crawl?
Oh, I mean, I read it.
I mean,
but
I understand what you're saying. It's like whenever they're talking about, the Senate and stuff like that, and it's just
the Clone Wars, they talk about Jedi, and at
You're
this
like,
point,
what
you
the
haven't
fuck's a
seen
Jedi?
exactly.
We have the benefit now that whenever
hindsight.
if you start it, which I do suggest starting at 4, but
Yeah, you do release
yeah.
order. I always
But
say
I mean, you have this like, oh, it's a mystery. It's like you hear all these things like, oh man, what is that? What is that? What is
And now we have phones at our hand where we can just Google it.
don't look it up. Watch the movies. That's so stupid. Don't look it up.
Yeah, but you can.
Don't.
Here's the biggest reason I always say go watch order is because it preserves the spoiler. The
Yeah.
spoiler, that was the spoiler for like 16 years or something until Sixth Sense came out.
Oh yeah.
It was the
Yeah.
spoiler.
Yeah.
Or it was even longer. It was like Sixth Sense came out like 97 or 8. So it was like 17 or 18 years.
I want to say it was 8, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Anything
So-
you're changing, Jarrett?
No, because George Lucas already did all the changes.
Okay. Ethan, what about you?
I can't say I would change
anything.
anything in particular.
Gotcha. So, any actors that stuck out amazingly besides the main?
The main 3?
Yeah, because
Alec Guinness.
is that Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Hang on. Sir Alec Guinness.
Sir Alec Guinness,
Yes.
yes. I apologize,
Yes.
Sir Alec Guinness.
The voice actor, which I don't know if he was actually in the suit for C-3PO.
Oh, yes, he was.
Yes.
He was
He
in the
was
suit.
he was
Yes.
actually in the suit.
Yes,
Okay.
in the desert of Tunisia, where like it was 120 something degrees or 115
Yeah.
degrees or
Yeah.
something like that. It's
he
insane.
he did very very well.
Oh, what was his name?
Anthony Daniels.
Anthony Daniels.
Yeah, he did great. Something I thought was interesting because I just watched Solo as well yesterday or day before, one of the two. Chewie, whenever they're playing the whatever their version of chess is,
It's shit. I used to know this. But
when they're playing it in Solo, he loses the exact same way.
yeah,
And I was like, that's
there's all these little.
I like the callback.
Yeah,
Now that I
that's
know
Yeah,
it's a
Solo's
callback.
full of those.
Yeah.
The capes.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Capes. Yeah.
We'll get there.
So I guess let's move on to episode 5. What's your pros, Ethan?
The whole movie. Yeah, the whole movie. I don't know. It's a really good story. The story arc it's classic. If you look at it just from the points, it's an opera. It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
What about you, Jarrett?
It's one of my favorite movies of all time. So it's everything. Just
Okay.
like Ethan said, it's everything. I love that movie. I could watch it on repeat every day.
Gotcha. So mine's more specific because it gave me one of the best inspirational quotes. It's the try not, do or do not, there is no try.
That was my
Every-
yearbook quote.
Every time I say, like, okay, I'm going to try this or something like that, I'm like, nope. And I
do
just
it.
cut myself off and I'm like, do it or don't do it. It doesn't matter.
I mean, it really resonated with me whenever Leia said, I love you. And he says, I know. That is exactly the type of response I come back with on comments. I don't know if I got that from like my family or if I got that from watching Star Wars at a young age.
Probably a mix.
Probably both.
Yeah.
But
And then when Yoda beats the shit out of R2 with a stick. I love it.
yeah, it's good.
Because at looking back, it's kind of, you see that thing where he beats the shit out of R2 with a stick, and then now you know that
He's a motherfucking badass.
and like you know that Yoda knows R2 and he's like, you little shit, you let off.
Oh yeah, that I forgot. There was a whole that they know each other.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm leaning with that.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily true though.
Okay, he knew of R2.
It's a robot that
Now-
was made in a factory
Yes.
of hundreds of thousands.
How
of
many
millions.
blue R2 units exist? Probably thousands or maybe millions.
enough.
Well, that's what an R2 unit is. R2D2.
No, I mean blue, like colored.
Yeah,
R2
all the rest of them are different R's.
No,
R4,
no.
R5.
R2 is a specific type of droid.
Yeah.
I know. The D2 is his designation.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, how many blue R2 units exist? I don't know.
Who knows?
Exactly. Because there's a R.
We need to know this. No, we don't.
No, we don't. It's really, this is what happens when you know too much about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
So to back on track, we're gonna go with cons. Do you have any? I know you said it's your favorite.
Oh,
Jarrett.
there's one. There's a really big con. You don't know this yet, but brother and sister kiss in this movie, and it's really fucking weird looking back on it.
Yeah.
You're like, ugh. Gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, but I think it's.
I think it's funny.
It's
Yeah,
funny in
'cause they
retrospect.
don't
Like,
know it.
ugh.
That's like a classic like Renaissance tale.
Yeah,
though.
that's like if it's a chase kiss, not like fucking
Yeah.
tongue in the mouth.
They didn't do tongue in the mouth.
You don't know.
Ethan changing their cons about it.
More Boba Fett.
More Boba Fett.
I think that's false, but all right. I think recent events have shown we don't need more Boba Fett.
I think it just needs to be done better. I think
Fair
Boba
enough.
Fett's good. I think it's just been done poorly.
So I got two cons. One of them's the effects as they're flying through the asteroid field. Whenever they get to, is it Alderaan? Where they're at?
Nope,
Yeah.
not Alderaan.
It's not Alderaan.
That's
in
the
four.
asteroid field.
Yeah.
They're just trying to get away from the Star Destroyer.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
they
whenever
were.
they're trying to get, I couldn't remember off the top of my
Yeah.
head, but whenever they're trying to get there, you can clearly see that there's like 5 or 6 asteroids that would have just absolutely demolished the ship. It bothers me from a visual standpoint.
There's a measure of suspended disbelief.
And I know
Yeah.
there's only so much you could do with where they were at, but it bothered me when I was watching it. Like I had to pause the movie, walk away for a little bit, and then come back. And then Yoda's voice, I couldn't fucking.
I really
You don't
like
love Frank Oz?
Frank Oz went full on,
Yeah.
and I appreciate it.
That would be that would be like a con for me. It's like he's the campiness of Yoda. It's really like over the top. He's really over the top, and then it doesn't like almost fit with the rest of the series going backwards.
Yeah.
Unless you just say he got like dementia.
I really
Which is a
like.
good possibility.
I mean,
I really like the fact that he is doing that, and then as soon as you find out who he
he
is,
turns like super serious.
it turns like super serious, and
Yeah.
and he actually isn't campy anymore.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it might be a thing that like
That's why you fail.
like a tactic that they use because like even Obi-Wan kind of does it where he's like this mysterious old wizard that's kind of weird,
Yeah.
and then once he reveals that he's Obi-Wan, they're like, oh,
Yeah.
yes,
That makes sense.
Well, they spend a lot of time alone. I mean,
you go kind of crazy.
yeah.
All right. Changes to anything. Ethan?
Did we got to do that?
No, he said
we?
cons
I s-
changes.
yeah, cons. I
Changes.
said changes first and then changed it to cons. I'll give you mine while you're thinking on yours
Go
because
ahead.
it looks like you don't have any.
Not really.
So mine's just the swamp darkness, and that again, it's just visual.
Yeah.
It's really dark. Some of it's hard to like even see what's going on. But that's the only one for me. Any for you, Jarrett?
Thinking, I can't think of any.
Okay, so not changing anything. I think as far as actors, we're still sticking with the main 3.
Well, I'll just throw out. Oh my God, I forgot his name. Lando. How
Yeah.
the fuck did I forget it? Billy D. Williams. It's like, how the fuck did I forget his name?
Yep.
I think I just
Any
went
that
Lando.
you want to point out that you thought did besides Billy D and the main?
Frank Oz.
Oh, isn't Pycelle in this movie? The guy who plays Grandmaster Pycelle in this movie?
Is he?
And he who's the driver for the AT-AT? Isn't it him? Or am I thinking he's in?
I think you got the wrong person.
Maybe I do.
Maybe.
He's in these, I swear. Somewhere.
Well, either way, we can move on to the next one, and you can think of it. And if you think of it, we'll come back to it. So, episode 6. What's your pros?
Well, I really like the ending on the Death Star.
The whole he's redeemed himself and
Yeah. I also really like the middle part where they all kind of meet up and they're all together again before they split off again.
yeah.
I just like having the trio together, but that's really about it. I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I really liked the scenes in Jabba's palace thematically.
Yeah.
I thought they were great. It could have been somewhere else, not on Tatooine, but
Spend a lot of time there for some reason.
yeah, I don't know why, but either way, like I really liked it, but I felt like it was like just this other separate storyline that had nothing to do with the main story.
It's
And
really there to tie in the end of 5 and I guess resolve how Han gets back.
yeah. But in the end, I like all parts of that movie for the most part. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I liked it. Kind of like you said, Vader's
Redemption is really
redemption is the word I was looking for.
It's really good.
That's a really good end to that. Now this is going to sound really perverted, but Slave Leia, Carrie Fisher looks
she's really good.
great in it.
It's the mental image for all teenage boys
Yep.
that grew up in that time.
It sticks out, that's for sure. The Rancor fight was good. The whole Sarlacc pit where Luke uses the Force and jumps back up
That's really good.
on the edge of the.
There was some really rough scenes in that, with Boba Fett, and some of it was really bad.
Talking about when he gets him in the back and
Yeah.
the part where he dies.
Listen,
Quotation marks.
they're old movies. I mean,
That
you
fight
can't expect
in
a whole lot.
particular was pretty rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about cons? Any of them?
Look, I like Ewoks, but that end of that.
The original plan was for it to be Wookiees,
Yeah.
but they didn't have the budget for it.
So they
So they just
little
made them
Ewoks.
shorter. They just made
Yeah.
shorter Wookiees.
I would love to see the version with it being Wookiees.
Yeah, it'd be great, but
it'd be a lot more aggressive because
There's
Yeah.
when you watch it, you're kind of like, man, how did they really beat
Yeah.
all these stormtroopers?
it's really the ending. I actually really it's endearing the part where they capture Leia and and then capture the other guys, and then they have they hold C-3PO as this godlike figure.
Yeah.
It's
It's
entertaining.
It's really endearing and entertaining. The fight, not so much.
Yeah, the fight is where you lose me.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it thoroughly with
Mm-hmm.
the Ewoks. I really did. But I think I would like to see the version with the Wookiees just to see how it was.
Yeah.
And do it right this time. I mean, the
rip
last
some
time they
arms
did
off
big Wookiee fight, it was not right.
Well, it's an afterthought in
Yeah.
3. So
Yeah. I understand why Annie had to die. I say Annie because at that
Anakin?
point he's not Vader, but I kind of wish he wouldn't have. Be nice to see him, but at the same time,
yeah. It's fine.
quality of life. It wasn't really there. What about any changes to
I
any of it?
had another con.
Okay, give it.
I don't like Jabba's palace. I think it really sets this movie off on a bad tone, on a bad thematic pace. It's just really slow.
Ooh, that's interesting.
I mean,
you both have
you're right.
two.
Well, no, he's right.
It's
Yeah.
slow. If they tightened it up, it'd been and made it exciting.
Because by the time they leave from the Sarlacc pit,
It's
from
like-
the beginning of the movie, it feels like you've watched a whole movie.
Yeah.
And you've been watching it for over an hour.
Really?
I think so.
I haven't actually looked at the time code, so
Well, I mean, it may be like 50 minutes.
I was thinking 40 or 50 minutes, but it's a long 40 or 50 minutes.
It feels like you've been watching it for a long time, and it feels like the movie should be over at that point, just because of the way the story is. But I don't know. They move pretty quick into the next part.
yeah.
Once they get there, they start moving quick. Any changes?
It would just be relating to like the beginning of the movie. Yeah, like do we need to have Leia and Luke both go into Jabba's palace and try and rescue Han?
Yeah.
And one
And
fail.
Lando.
And well, Lando,
And Chewbacca.
I can understand like Lando just being there, like as a spy. Like, that's fine.
Isn't C-3PO there as well?
And R2.
Well, they come before.
They come
oh
first.
my god, I forgot.
Yeah,
we
they
have
come first.
technically we have 3. Jesus, I forgot that part. Yeah, that's what makes it drag on. Is it's like keep trying and failing, and then Luke comes in. He's like, I'm the baddest motherfucker in the universe. I'll get it done.
It's like fucking Jedi Savior.
Yeah.
Woo! When they could have started with that.
I
Realistically, yeah, they could have.
I don't know if I would change anything about it but I mean, like, there could be parts that were a lot better.
Yeah.
I think Boba Fett could have done more.
Yeah, the fight scene on the deck of the Sand Cruiser thing it's really bad.
Yeah.
But that's like a theme throughout. Aside from 5 didn't have a lot of fight scenes, but the ones
Nope.
it had were actually pretty good.
It's really good.
But like 4 and 6, like the fight scenes are rough.
Yeah.
Rough.
Any actors in this particular one besides the main 3 and everybody else that we've already named that stick out?
We talking about the original Palpatine or the?
No, it's Ian McDermott. He's so good.
Yeah,
He's so good.
he's really, really good.
Gotcha.
Let's see. There was another one I was thinking of.
Who the fuck else is in this movie though? Like really, these are the things about the
So
original
many.
trilogy. There are not a lot of human actors besides the main 5.
It's also the thing about the trilogies in general. Usually, whenever you pick an actor from one, they carry on throughout most, if not all, of that saga.
Yeah.
There's just
wanna call
not
it a
there's
saga.
not so many out like in that movie.
Yeah.
Like the other ones have
few.
introduced characters and stuff like that, but it's not.
Yeah.
I don't know who plays Bib Fortuna, but he's really, at least entertaining when he's in the very beginning of the movie.
That's true.
All right. So let's move on to the
Oh
prequels.
wait, I mean, but it did. 6 had like one of the best quotes in any Star Wars movie.
Oh, well, this.
It's a trap.
Yeah, it's
oh,
true.
it's a meme, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, whoever plays Akbar.
I knew what
fucking
you,
great.
I think I know what you were thinking. Were you thinking the spoiler?
The spoiler.
I'm your.
No, that's
Is that five? That's in 5.
That's in 5.
I'm stupid.
You fuck.
Ignore me.
Get out.
All right, guys. This has been another episode of Chaotically Nerdy. We thank you for joining us, and
am
this will be the
shocked.
last episode.
Shocked. Just
Yeah, my bad. My bad.
Surprise Pikachu face.
Okay, so now that we got "It's a Trap" out of the way, that we all say way too much.
That's a trap.
I think we say it whenever we're playing D&D
If
constantly.
there's ever the word trap that
Yeah.
comes up,
We're like,
it's-
I want to check for traps. It's a trap. Like, it's just how it goes.
It's just a good line.
or
is.
if you're in an iffy social situation, it's a trap.
Yeah. So now let's go to the prequels.
Oh God.
They're good for something. Ethan has said this. They're good for memes.
Oh, there's a whole subreddit dedicated to them.
They have used legitimately every
frame.
scene, every frame for a
Probably.
meme. If there was a challenge for it on there that we have to make the whole thing. It's fantastic. It's
Yep.
wonderful.
Great.
So, episode 1, what are we giving for pros?
Score. I know that's kind of a given, but Duel
that's-
of Fates is one of my favorite fucking.
I feel like that's a
Movie
given for
scores
every single
ever.
Star Wars movie.
It's absolutely.
I just
true.
haven't said that.
Yeah, it's kind of a given, but like this one, it's like
it's very good.
Duel of Fates is so
the
good.
world building they did in one is fantastic.
Some of it's not so great, but yeah.
Coruscant,
Well,
Naboo's good
yeah.
Yeah.
for the most part.
There's some things about the world building that we don't like, but that's fine.
It's true. It's
This
true.
is a pro and a con. It's Darth Maul. I love him. I wish he was better utilized. I felt like he showed up to kill.
That's going to be
I
a
don't
common
remember.
thing
I don't
throughout
remember.
the
Have you?
prequels, though.
Yeah. Have you watched Clone Wars?
I have not.
Watch Clone
I,
Wars.
I need to.
This will come up when we get to the end of this.
Also, whenever we get to Solo, it'll come up again.
Well, yeah, but actually, we can talk about between 2 and 3 because that's when it takes place.
Yeah, between.
Why it's important to watch Clone Wars to me at least.
And I liked seeing more of the lightsaber fights and force powers.
Oh yeah,
Because, all we really
it's
see.
one of the things that jumps up the most probably between the sagas is the fight choreography and like
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
what they're able to do.
I don't know how old you guys were when it came out.
6.
6.
And you
Oh yeah,
were
because
like,
I remember going to the theater and saying
I
don't
did not.
think I did.
I mean, obviously I didn't because I didn't watch.
that was
3.
one of the most exciting things I've ever seen in my life. And I don't know, just because of it was like we all knew Star Wars. There were books out, stuff like that, and so everyone had seen all these books and read all these books, seen all the movies, and then you finally see Phantom Menace come out, and it was
fucking awesome.
it was what you wanted. It was exactly what your imagination tells you. At the time, it was. I'm not saying now, but I mean, like, because we expect higher now.
Well, yeah.
But when it came out, my word.
Yeah. We were,
Oh, my goodness.
as children of the prequels, I probably can say, like, you know, I don't think you hadn't watched them, but like me and Ethan can be like, when you watch them as a kid, they're fucking great. You love them. You go back with a critical eye, they're not
as good.
Yeah, they're terrible. But I can't imagine what the adult Star Wars fans at the time thought watching it. and
Probably
being
the
so
same thing we did, to be
Well,
honest.
to be honest, like maybe
Well,
it's kind of
and-
like 7 for us, where we really liked it, and then as time goes on, we have more negative things to say, probably.
And that's probably anything, especially if you watch it in a theater, because then
Yeah.
the score helps add. Because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
so
It's the
loud,
atmosphere.
everything's going on. You've got people in there that are enjoying it with you, and it's just it adds a lot to the movie. Watching movies in a theater changes movies for me.
It's absolutely true.
Cons.
Pod racing. I like pod racing, but do we need to have the whole middle hour of the movie dedicated to pod racing
Fair
and
enough.
Tatooine?
That is one of the best scenes
I like it.
throughout the
It's-
entire
hang
Star
on.
Wars saga.
Hang
It's
on.
just very long.
It is
Also,
very long.
we're back on Tatooine again. I know it's where Anakin.
Yeah.
Does Anakin have to be from Tatooine? Not really.
No,
I mean, Andy hates sand. It kind of.
Oh god. Oh fucking god damn it.
that's why he hates Sam.
I know.
Hey, look, it's
because
just-
he grew up there. He wouldn't hate sand. as
Episode
much.
1 starts this ridiculous fucking obsession with sand planets that goes on through the entire fucking rest of the series, and it pisses me off.
Yeah.
Episode 1 does?
Well, I mean, like, reinforces it.
Episode 4 starts it.
Well, it starts it, but then, like, 6, it's kind of, you know. But, like, from here on out, I think we go to a sand planet in every single movie.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yes.
Oh, am I thinking? Did we go on to 9? I don't remember. We'll get to it.
9.
I don't think we
Yes,
did.
yes, yes.
Did
There's.
Yeah, the end.
Oh, fuck yeah, they are.
Yep.
Uh,
So cons, Ethan.
cons?
Yeah.
There is a lot of really confusing story plot arcs.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of shit that's just thrown at
Oh,
you.
it's also, if you're not in, like...
That's not even it. That's just thrown at you. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. If you're not into politics, the plot will bore you.
I'm fine with that. It's not
really
that.
boring. Trade federations and fucking
I like that.
Senate stuff.
I like
So-
that a lot. I do. I really
I get
do.
it's good world building, but do we need to have it as a main plot point of the movie?
I'm not so sure that the acting was terrible, but the dialogue was one of the worst things I've ever seen. And you can tell who's a good actor because their specific role is actually well done.
I don't know if that's true. Like, I think Natalie Portman's a good actor. I don't know if some of her dialogue is that great.
No, it's not.
I think she's a good actor, and I don't know if she.
I like Natalie Portman. I don't think she had good lines, but she did them well.
Here's what you can say. You can say, like, the phenomenal actors will make chicken salad out of chicken shit.
That is the weirdest expression I think I've ever heard.
It's a wrestling thing.
Okay.
It's wrestling.
Oh, okay.
It literally is.
But like Liam Neeson did a fantastic job in that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the lines were bad.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Really bad.
If you don't know, George Lucas cannot write dialogue, and in fact,
If you don't know, we'll talk about that more.
But I do have one more con.
Is it the con I think you're going to say?
Midichlorians.
okay, yeah,
Okay.
that's what I was talking about when you said the world building. I was like, we don't need fucking midichlorians. No one likes them.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's scientifically, possible. I don't know.
If it's signed.
Get your science out of my religion.
So one of my cons is Jar Jar. I fucking hate him. I hate him. The only thing that makes me even want to appreciate him is the Darth Jar
Darth
Jar
Jar theory.
Yeah, Darth Jar Jar theory.
I think
and I refuse to believe it's not true.
Yeah.
I desperately hate that theory.
It's
so stupid.
It is, but by God, that's the only thing that makes him tolerable to me.
I think I
Is
just
that
look
it's
at it-
all a
I
fucking
look-
act.
I look on it with like nostalgia, probably. Like he doesn't bother me as much anymore as he probably did when I was 10 years ago. But I just find him like he's nice.
Yeah. So actors, or no, we didn't talk about changes.
Oh God. Have Maul have more than like 2 lines.
Yeah.
Give them
Absolutely.
all the screen time in the world because Ray Park is fucking awesome.
Ethan, you changing, or did you have any other
can't
changes?
I can't think of anything.
Just trying to think of it. You got any, Ethan?
The literal captain, obvious.
Oh yeah.
Don't add him.
that
Don't
Panaka?
give me. Yeah.
Is that Panaka?
No.
Is that second?
No, Captain Obvious, the guy who's piloting the ship.
Oh, that
Every
one.
time they go, it's like, it's Coruscant. The entire planet's one big city. We are looking at it. It looks like a city.
He's the exposition dump guy.
Yeah.
Where he's just like, oh,
Yeah. I just don't know. I don't need exposition.
Yeah.
especially in Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
We'll figure it out.
I know a lot of my changes for the prequels are like storyline changes.
That's
and it's
fair.
because things that don't make sense happen. Like whenever Qui-Gon brings Annie to the Jedi and says, I want to train him. And they go, no, because you already have one. If I remember that right, that's why they told
That's
him.
one of the reasons.
And why not just say, hey, Mace or some Yoda or someone who is, if it's they don't think he's trustworthy or whatever reason,
okay.
other behind the scene reasons.
There's a thing. Qui-Gon is a like radical. Like he believes his views are very different from the council, if I remember correctly, right?
Yes, he is
Yeah,
a
so he's kind of like-
outlier.
Okay.
So
But-
they kind of don't trust him. This is why they're very reticent
He's
to
like
like
the-
train Anakin.
The rebel. He's like the one who has the the emo hair swoop.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
maverick.
But even so, you see a kid with that much power.
Yeah, that causes them fear. Not like that they don't want. They would actually probably actively try and not train him because he's so powerful.
It just doesn't make any sense. To me. Like,
Well, they were fucking stupid. So
that's why I'm saying that's the change I would make is
The-
put him under somebody who could train him properly. And
The Jedi were just poorly written in
Yeah.
that movie.
Yeah.
Pretty much in general.
I think all of the prequels they're not well written really,
yeah,
but one especially.
I think 3, they find their ground in writing them.
Yeah.
I think that's really where they start doing well, which is sad because that's the end. So
3 movies
It's
to
the
get
end of the
there.
council. You're like, oh,
they're all dead now. They figured it out.
fucking shit.
After they figured it out, they're all gone.
All right, actors that amazingly stood out. I know,
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Not really.
not really,
Not
but
really.
But I just like having Samuel Jackson in Star Wars. It's really cool.
Ian McDiarmid,
Yeah, he's really good in the small amount of time he gets.
Liam Neeson, Ewan McGregor.
Yep. I said, which I don't know his actual name. I probably should have looked it up. The kid version of Annie.
You like him?
He's very annoying,
I don't like him.
but
He's
he,
a kid.
It's Jake
he's
Lloyd,
a
by the way.
kid that is pissed off because he's been a slave. So he did a very
But I
good
think,
job of saying,
he's in other movies.
showing
He's
I'm
in
pissed off.
like Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
And he's actually enjoyable in that movie as like an annoying 8-year-old or whatever. It's that the dialogue in this movie is so bad.
Yeah.
He can't really do anything with it.
There are 2 actors who had their careers ruined by this.
By this
By
franchise.
this movie.
and he was
He
one of
was
them.
one of them, and he didn't deserve it. The other one is the guy who did the voice for Jar Jar.
Oh yeah, that's right.
His career was just toileted.
He
But
got so
you know
much
what?
Hate mail.
You know what? I hate Jar Jar, so
So you'll allow it?
But
I'll allow that.
I don't know if that's his. It's not his.
It's not
fault.
his fault.
Like he didn't make
No,
the
no,
character.
no,
He
no.
just performed it.
no, it's directing.
He just did exactly what the director told him to do.
George Lucas.
So let's go to episode 2. Pros. I feel
Ethan,
like
you start. It's yours.
So, in my opinion, this movie, Attack of the Clones, is half good and half the worst.
And he ain't wrong.
The half of the movie that is the story arc for
Yes.
mostly Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh damn it! You screwed. I was gonna have him guess which part is supposed to be the best.
I was gonna say Obi-Wan. Like who the fuck else was gonna be?
And that part is fantastic.
It's so good.
And the other half of the movie is watching Princess Amidala change clothes.
And yeah,
But not viewing the fun part, just watching her
outfit
like
changed, outfit changed.
outfit
It's
change,
like, holy
outfit
shit,
change,
she
outfit
changed
change.
again.
And also watching Anakin be like this creepy, weird stalker kid.
And watching
He's like 19 at the time. 10
poor
years has
Hayden
passed.
Christensen deliver
Yeah.
terrible lines.
Yeah.
Look, I will die on this hill. He's a fucking good actor. He got screwed over by this.
I'm not going to
Oh,
deny.
no.
Like
We'll see whenever Obi-Wan comes out.
I'm not going to deny the entertainment value of 2 because the
Maybe.
the
I mean, he's gonna
dialogue.
Yeah. Well,
He'll be Darth,
behind
is he
it.
Darth Vader?
Yes.
Then? So he'll be behind the mask and you won't be able to really tell anyway. But
Right. The dialogue is so bad it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
So I can enjoy the whole
Yeah.
movie, but it's still not good.
It's still not good.
The one major pro for me is that end fight
Oh,
with
it's so
all
cool.
the Jedi and with Count Dooku,
Yeah. So good.
yeah.
and finally getting to see Yoda pick up a lightsaber.
Some people will say that's a con. They're wrong.
Oh
It's
no,
amazing.
it's amazing.
I enjoyed the scene where they're in the pit and all of the Jedi jump down and start fighting. I enjoyed that. That's probably that's honestly one of the few things that stuck out.
It's like
from that
adrenaline
movie.
pumping first time you see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jarrett, pros?
You've already said them all. You know, I actually kind of like the beginning of the film when they're still all together. Like, I think all three of them have good chemistry together. When they split up, I'm like, oh, what the hell happened to chemistry?
Yeah, but Anakin just seems like, a serial killer.
Yes, he's a
Yeah.
fucking weirdo in this movie. I don't like it.
Yeah.
He's just creepy.
He's creepy.
Yeah.
It's not even in it,
But in all fairness,
Not in an
if
endearing
you-
way,
no.
in a creepy way.
If
Right.
you look back at 1, he's a little creepy too because he
Yes.
like grabs her and takes off immediately and is like, "Come look at this, come look at that, come." So he starts off with a
mean, look, I've
weird
seen-
obsession
yeah.
with her.
Are you an angel?
Are you an
Fuck. Let's just go on to cons.
Okay, the entire Padme, Anakin, like, love romance
Yeah,
plot, just bad.
I hate sand.
I literally have sand wrote down in all capital letters.
So bad.
And then when they're in like the living room with the fire behind her and they're talking about the relationship.
Oh God, it's so bad.
It's the worst.
It's so
it's
bad.
the worst.
Like, I believe there's probably some usable part of that plot that could have been made, but
The only part of the Padme Anakin is when they do go back to Tatooine
Yeah.
to find his mom.
Yeah.
Shmi. And I don't know. That was really entertaining. When she dies
when
and
he murders an entire village of
he-
sand people.
that was good story. That was actually pretty
it's
good.
It's one of the it's a nice.
My
thing.
only question, when he tells her that he killed an entire tribe of sand people,
The women and children too.
yeah,
children,
yeah, why didn't she run away?
Why didn't she do anything?
because they like the bad boy.
That's not bad boy.
That's
That's
fucking
mass
evil.
murderer.
But he did it for his mom, so it's like kind of cool.
Yeah, it was revenge.
Yeah, we covered this whenever you're talking about like Iron Man wanting to kill
No, it's so bad.
Bucky.
Bucky.
By the way, I have literally I'm fucking around. I'm being not serious. I'm being devil's advocate.
Right, I know.
For the listeners at home.
So this goes into my changes as well, where I kind of talked about I would change some storyline, and it's the stupidity of the council because they're like in one episode we fear Anakin, we're afraid of what he can do, we don't want to train him. They decided, okay, go ahead and train him, and then they send him with the woman he's had a crush on that they know about.
I don't know if they know about it. Obi-Wan definitely knows.
And Obi-Wan could have said something, and it could have.
Like, sorry, Council, we need to recuse ourselves
Well,
from
they're
this
not
mission.
supposed to
Yeah.
have like
Attachments.
worldly attachments.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what that is.
And it just adds to we're going to make him.
I mean, can we just talk about the worldly attachments thing being stupid anyway?
Yeah, that is pretty stupid.
It's dumb.
I mean, they have each other, right?
Yeah.
So
Like, what is not a worldly attachment if not for, like, Padawan and Master?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Fair enough.
is,
Fair enough. Any changes, Jarrett? I already said mine.
better
'cause I
script. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
fucking Jesus. Oh, everything's too clean. On Coruscant, like, it's all shiny and shit.
Oh, yeah.
That's a comment for the whole series or the whole saga in general. It's too clean and like CGI looking.
changes, right?
Yeah, changes.
So, I don't know if you guys have read it, but I've read the actual written version, the book
Oh, it's
version
so much
of this.
better.
It's written by R.A. Salvatore.
I can't read.
It's so much better. The dialogue is so good. And if they would literally had done that instead of what they had done, it would have been good.
So change the whole fucking movie. Got it. Actors that stood out. Obviously, Ewan McGregor. Samuel L. Jackson had more of a role to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was
I mean,
nice.
obviously, Christopher Lee
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
just fucking kills it as this menacing, evil dude.
Any that stand out for you, Ethan?
New actors?
Yeah.
Not really.
No, okay. Well, then we'll move on to
I mean,
episode 3.
there's good acting, but
Yeah.
it's all the same people.
We'll move on to episode 3 then. Pros.
Man, it's this. I think this is my favorite opening to any of the Star Wars movies. It starts off with like, "You're in it.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go." I love it.
I mean, it's the fight scenes are.
Yeah.
This is
Yes.
this is the pinnacle.
Yeah.
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 For the fight scenes, absolutely. I like General Grievous in it. I mean, he's just. I understand some people don't like him, but
It's not. I don't. It's not
It's
that
not
I
that
don't like Grievous.
him.
Why? Okay, this is a commentary on the saga. Why we change villains
yeah,
every movie except for the overarching Palpatine plot, but like
yeah, I get what you're saying.
Maul,
We
Dooku,
gotta-
Grievous, they're all in this movie, or all one movie basically,
Yeah,
a piece. And
That
it just
makes
gets
sense.
it gets annoying because you can't expound upon any of their uniqueness. They're all just generic bad guy henchmen, in a sense.
Which is unfortunate because they did so much build up for
Yeah.
Dooku in the previous movie, and they only had him at the very end, really.
yeah, and then
And
he's defeated. And,
In the first, like,
Yeah, and-
15 minutes.
yeah,
yeah, which is just not good because Christopher Lee was an amazing actor,
Mm-hmm.
and he was doing such a good job in that role. Why did they kill him at the beginning? Why didn't they kill Grievous in the beginning
and let Dooku
and let
go.
Dooku be towards the end?
Yeah,
Because I feel like they thought Dooku or
Like Dooku on
like
Utapau would have been
Grievous
great.
probably sold more toys.
probably. And honestly, he probably did.
He was really cool looking. You're like, oh, this guy's
Yeah.
got fucking 4 arms. He can spin 4
It
lightsabers.
gave us another really good quote that we all use a lot. Do it.
Oh, I was thinking General Kenobi.
Oh,
That's what
hello
I
there.
Yeah, we all
Hello
that
there.
gave us a few good quotes.
Oh, that's what they're good for.
Yeah.
Their prequels are just good for the memeable lines.
Yeah. And what's your cons, Jarrett?
Well, I kind of already gave one, like the changing of the villains. They don't set up any
Yeah.
sort of arc for any of these villains unless you go watch Clone Wars.
Yeah. What about you, Ethan?
I think the pacing was my issue. It was too fast.
I can agree with that. It goes by really fast.
It really zips through a lot of stuff.
Yep.
That,
Balls to the wall.
Yeah.
And it feels like a rush. Feels like a rush job. What are we changing? Because I agree with you guys on the cons. I mean, there's not really anything else I had.
What are we changing? There's definitely stuff I can change. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. Like,
Well, it's like most things where I watch it. I want the evil guy to do more evil things.
yeah.
Yeah.
I want Palpatine to be, like lightning fingers at everybody.
Oh, yeah.
I want him to just to
But, I
shock
mean,
the crap out of everything.
A big part of that was he was trying to
Yeah.
not reveal himself, is
Yeah.
why he didn't do it to
Oh,
everybody.
I have a change. Can he not kill 4 Jedi Masters in like 5 seconds?
Yeah.
That really
Yeah.
pisses me off because one of my favorite characters that I always played in like the Lego games.
Kit Fisto.
Kit Fisto. I
Yeah.
love Kit Fisto.
Yeah.
He's so cool, but he just goes out like a fucking bitch. And it pisses me off. Like, why?
It happens. So we got to pick up the pace a little bit if we're going to keep this under an hour. So let's actors. I don't know that any of them really stuck out
Oh my god, I had it. I lost it.
to me at least.
I like Jimmy Schmitz, who's Bell Organa.
Oh yeah, he did do a good job.
he
I
did
like
a
him.
really good-
Ethan, any others that you want to add besides the people we've already talked that have carried through?
Nope.
Okay, let's jump into episode 7 then. Episode 7, again, world building, I love it, and the score, I love it, but that's pretty consistent with everything. They have,
It gave me exactly what I wanted. I wanted just more of episode 4.
and
yeah.
that's what it was.
Yep.
I was not disappointed in this movie at all.
Yeah, I wrote down as one of my pros nostalgia because it absolutely gives you that nostalgia
It's a
feeling.
nostalgic, like just train kick you in the face every 5 seconds.
So since we all pretty well agree on that part, let's just jump straight into cons. What you got, Derek?
This also counts like counterintuitive. It's too similar to 4.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's true.
could see that. What about you, Ethan? If you didn't have any others, Derek.
That's really
I mean,
about
they
it.
use totally not Tatooine.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
they seen our comments and said, "What if we change the name?"
they don't want Tatooine anymore. Let's give them
Jakku.
its clone.
Now, I haven't got to rewatch it in a while. When I walked out of the theater, I remember thinking that Rey, Daisy Ridley, I just remember thinking she was very flat in a lot of her expressions. Like, no, not that kind. That she just didn't, I don't want to say didn't bring a lot, because she did. The character's very important, obviously, throughout.
I feel like she started out strong emotionally when she was on Jakku.
Yeah. Like when you first see her, and then it kind of, as you move her off of planet and everywhere else.
She just became the generic.
Yeah.
That was one of the big criticisms of the movie. She's a very Mary Sue type character where she's just good at everything and like immediately. Like
Yeah.
she can fly the Falcon. She knows
Yes, that bothered me as well.
I don't care.
Kylo's lightsaber bothered me.
You don't like it?
I don't like it
again,
because
I-
when you watch how they fight in the majority of things, their wrists are so close to the freaking handle that he would burn the shit out of himself.
I don't like the cross piece either.
Yeah.
No.
I theorize again. It was most likely to sell more toys.
Yeah,
To make it look
probably.
to differentiate and be like, oh, that looks cool.
Yeah, and
Kylo should not have lost to Rey by any stretch of the imagination. He has been trained
That-
to some extent.
That's the Mary Sue thing I'm
She
talking about.
has not.
Yeah.
I
At
don't.
all.
It should
At
not have been.
all.
And, yeah, I agree.
there's no way he should have lost that fight. But changes. I almost want to change Snoke. I almost don't want.
Him to be in the movie?
I don't want him as the villain. But I think that goes back to Star Wars doesn't do a very good job of explaining people.
Okay, hey, we still don't know what the fuck Snoke was.
Exactly. And so it's just we're given this person that's supposed to be a villain, and we have no idea if he's a Sith. We have no idea if he's just somebody who's like, hey, go fuck yourself. Or
If he was some like lab baby that
exactly.
Palpatine
we
had
don't
made or something. Who knows?
We have no idea.
Yeah.
That's
never
probably
will.
my biggest
I really think that's
change with it.
I think that is the sin of the next movie, not of this movie, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the trailer was misleading too.
Probably on purpose.
Well, I mean, yeah, 'cause it
leading
was-
up to making you think Finn was going to be the Jedi.
Exactly. You thought he was going to be.
I'm happy
Did
with
they
how
even
it turned
show-
out, though.
They showed that he was a stormtrooper in the trailer, right?
I think, pretty sure.
And one of them, I
They
think.
had, yeah, because they
So-
started taking off his helmet.
Yeah, so it's one of the which I mean, going back to 4 doesn't necessarily mean he was a stormtrooper. Just means
No, but we all assumed.
And I think everyone agrees more Phasma would have been cool.
Oh yeah,
they misused
yeah. As a friend,
Phasma
as a fan
in
of
both 4 or 7 and
As
8.
a fan of Brienne and Game of Thrones, it's like, oh, but she said Commitment was cooler.
Yeah. What about actors? I think Adam Driver did
Yeah, again, if you're
as
not,
the angsty
Yeah.
teenager. He did a great job, which I don't even know how old he's technically supposed to be. In
I liked
that.
Maz a lot.
Maz
Yeah,
Kanata.
Maz was good.
Yeah.
I mean, I like having Harrison Ford back for his one
It was
movie
good.
appearance. It tied up a lot of stuff. A lot of problems he had with the original trilogy of wanting to die.
It's true.
It made
It's
the
all
character-
true.
It made it happen.
Yeah, it made it feel pretty good.
All right, let's jump into 8, I guess. So pros.
Yep, that
None.
sums it up.
No, I'm sorry. There's the Yoda ghost that decides to just destroy the temple. That's a pro.
My pro for this movie is it's entirely ignorable in the series.
Fair enough.
That's look, I like some of the stuff about it. Like unlike some people who judge that choreography, I love the throne room fight. It just
No, the throne room fight was great.
some people because it does have a lot of like.
How are you saying there's no pros?
It's ignorable.
It does have like that martial arts thing where like it's 1-on-1, but with a circle of guys standing around them.
Yeah. And it's like everybody goes in at one
It's
time.
got like that Ip Man feel.
I just ignore
Kung
that.
Fu
I look
movie.
at the actual action on the screen of the fight, and I'm like, because they did the one thing I've always wanted to do, which was activate a lightsaber in somebody's face.
Like Luke tried to do to himself in episode 4. So, what were we at? We just did pros, and we basically said none. Cons.
Yes.
I feel like the Force connection, which we know that they have connections through that, but then all of a sudden they can talk to each other,
This sounded
and
okay.
it gets worse in episode 9,
Yeah.
where he's taking like Ren's grabbing shit off of Rey,
It's
like a necklace.
weird.
It's
But
just a weird thing.
no offense to Ryan Johnson. I actually love Knives Out, and I'm excited for his next movie. What the fuck was he doing? Like, what was he doing? I don't get it.
There's a lot of problems with this movie.
I think he tried to be edgy and like buck the trend of being like we're gonna keep. I don't know. He just tried to do too much and change too much, and it just ruins the movie.
Rey still didn't have any training up to this point, correct? I don't remember 8 too well,
As far as I remember, it goes
because like Ethan said, it's
it's
forgettable.
No, yeah, because it leads right into when she meets Luke. So no,
Yeah,
I mean,
so she gets training in the middle of the movie.
but okay, so she trains a little bit, not a lot.
I have a lot of complaints about several different things. The physics of space have no bounds on this movie whatsoever. I mean, Leia in space,
Yeah.
doing space witch force things.
I audibly groaned when that happened. In the
Yeah. Bombing people in space because,
movie. Makes sense.
I mean, gravity,
Yeah.
no.
Unless
Not being able to, and then, the velocity of things in space. Just because you run out of fuel doesn't mean that you slow down
Yeah,
that fast.
in space
doesn't mean you stop immediately.
No.
in space.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's almost
lot
like
of-
embarrassing for the people who made the movie.
It's a lot of logic. Not logic, I guess. That's a
It
better way to
doesn't.
say
Well, the logic doesn't fit in Star Wars.
yeah.
Doesn't fit
Changes. You gonna change the whole fucking movie?
Now, if you're gonna pose a question in this movie, answer it. Don't leave it for the next guy
Yeah,
to figure it the fuck out.
fair enough.
So, don't just kill Snoke and be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was. Who knows?
Yeah,
Or don't say her parents are important, but they
but they're fucking Palpatine.
they kind of are.
Yeah, which we find out in the next episode.
This is Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Stop trying to be political in the real world. Half this movie is about that.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I think
It's
I
just
remember that
annoying.
whenever it came out, but I don't remember it.
Whether I
now.
agree with it or not doesn't make a difference. That's not what movies are about.
Yeah. I would change it to which I understand why they had it the way they had it, but Leia dies instead of Luke. Mainly because I feel like with Carrie Fisher dying before the episode was even finished, it's a disservice.
No, I think 8 was finished.
I thought there was a few scenes they had to redo.
I don't think so. I might be wrong, but I thought 8 was finished and they were filming
8
9 when she.
8 was done.
Yeah.
It was okay. Well, then
It
never
may, have,
mind.
it may
then.
have been released. And they were filming.
No, because
9.
it came out between Rogue One and 8.
Yeah.
But I believe they had already finished filming her stuff.
Well, then never mind. Then leave it the way it is. I thought I don't know why I thought she passed away right before like the end of 8, and then they just decided
I
to
think it was around the time of the premiere of 8 or something, maybe.
maybe.
It was in December.
So yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'd been right around the time. All right, actors. It's great to see Hamill back.
He kills it in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic. He was really good.
Someone who we haven't talked about, but I just love because of my love of Harry Potter is Domhnall Gleeson.
Yeah.
General Hux, I love him.
Yeah.
Even though his personality changes from movie to movie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's really fucking good.
The gambler guy. I usually like him in movies. What's his name?
Oh, Benicio.
Del Toro.
Yeah, Del
Yeah.
Toro. Is it
Yeah.
Benicio Del Toro? Yeah, Benicio
Yeah.
Del
Benicio
Toro.
something like
del
that.
Toro. I usually really like him in movies. I didn't like him in this.
Because his fucking character doesn't do anything and makes no. It's just dumb.
All right, let's jump to episode 9. The pro, it's the fucking end of it.
Look, this is not a good movie. I love this movie.
Okay.
It's not good. It's not good. It does a perfect job of wrapping up
Yep.
the like pit of awful
Yeah.
that was the previous movie.
Gotcha.
I love it because it's. You thought 7 was nostalgia? Fuck you. That's nostalgia to the max.
Gotcha.
I love it.
It's fun. It's a fun movie.
It's a fun movie. It's not a good movie. It's a fun movie.
Yeah. I didn't care for it. There were some parts that I liked, but for overall, I was like, meh.
That's fair.
compared to the rest of it, it's not so great. But I still think it's pretty fun for a movie.
Yeah. Cons. I said some of the writing.
Some. I love this movie. This plot makes no goddamn sense.
Somehow, Palpatine returned.
That's probably the most succinct way they could have put that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was on board for anything in this movie after the previous one. So, like,
After 8, you went in with
I
zero
sat
expectations.
down and said, entertain me, and they did it.
riding space lizard horses across a Star Destroyer, I'm on board.
Doesn't
Bring
make
it.
a lick of fucking
Nope.
sense, but fuck it. Let's go for it.
Yep, let's do it.
I mean, if you want to talk about the technical rating, technically, didn't Palpatine win? Because didn't he say, if you kill me,
Yeah, I'll
I'll win?
Yeah, technically,
Technically he wins.
because technically he said, if you kill me, I will embody you or something, or you will embody me and every
Something.
other Sith,
Yeah.
or something to that effect. Enough so that it was, he won. Fuck it.
Yeah. But Ray just went like full barbarian. He was like, I'll just fucking hit you harder.
Are we changing anything in it?
What is there to change?
My biggest change for this whole saga is have some sort of creative vision for it, not go fucking see your pants as vision or movie by movie.
All right.
That would have helped. But
Well, then we can go on to the 2 miscellaneous movies. Rogue One.
It's the best out of all the new ones by far. It is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Really?
Yep.
if you pros,
Yeah.
hallway scene.
Oh, yes.
I'll just leave it there.
Yep.
Oh man, it's just exactly what we've always wanted. It's, I mean,
Yeah, it was very good. It was so good they had to essentially redo it in The Mandalorian
Yes.
with a replacement of
Oh,
who is in the
Yeah,
hallway.
that one was equally as badass.
Yes.
oh, it's amazing.
It to me it fixes something that was in 4, and it's a logic thing. The Death Star, why does it have a
Oh, glaring obvious weakness.
yes?
Yep.
And it fixes that. It explains it, which fixes it for me. What about cons?
It's not a happy movie.
Don't expect to have a good time when you like watch this movie.
It's
gonna-
not going to have a good ending.
Yeah, it's gonna depress the shit out of you.
It will. It absolutely will. But
But I mean,
if you
what?
watched it first though, and then went into 4, I think it'd be just
See,
you would
I-
still enjoy it.
See, you said we talked a little bit about order of watch order earlier, but like
This is like the only exception, I think.
this is the one I would tell people to watch first. It's going to draw people in.
Yeah.
It's going to give you the story, and it's going to give you the hook to go into 4, which is an older movie that's not accessible to new people, really.
Yeah.
And it's going to give you a lot of context,
Yeah, and it also doesn't ruin the fucking spoilers. So.
but it's not too much context either. It's just enough.
Changes. Are we making any? Because I put none. I enjoyed the movie the
I
whole
have
way.
no problems with this movie.
I'm trying to think.
More Donnie Yen.
I feel like it was something to do with Vader. Like, do we need to have? Yes, don't show Vader before the hallway scene.
Yes, that would make
Oh,
that
yeah.
hallway scene so much
That's my
better. Which is
Oh, my
it is already great, but you show it then it makes top notch. Actors.
Ben Mendelsohn,
Donnie Yen.
Donnie Yen. I'm forgetting one. I was going to say one more.
Forrest Whitaker.
Nope.
I liked him in it.
How the? I mean, yeah, but I was not who I was thinking of. Had him in my brain. I lost it.
Who is it?
I don't know.
Well, he means like who is the character?
I can't. I literally like vision. I was like, nope. Go on. Anybody else?
You got any actor besides you? Well, the ones you've already said, which kind of align with.
Mads Mikkelsen.
That's who
He's
it was.
fantastic.
I was like, that's who it was.
Okay. So let's jump into Solo. We're kind of trying to rush through this here because we're just over an hour now. Solo pros, again, score, the story. I thought Paul
Bettany.
Bettany, is that his last? Okay. I thought he did an amazing job as a villain.
He's really good.
I don't know what I was gonna say. Go ahead.
I would like to preface Solo real quick by saying it is the most unfortunate movie because it got bad ratings, and I don't know why it got bad ratings.
thought it
'cause
was
this is a wonderful
yes.
movie.
Because it come off 8. It was in between 8 and 9.
Oh, that's right.
Well, I thought
Yeah.
it's
Oh, it's a-
one of my
It's a
favorites.
shame we're not going to get the 2 sequels.
Oh, right.
Okay, so there was supposed to be sequels with that
Well,
movie.
it's not. I don't think it was ever officially announced, but Aiden Aldenreich was signed for 3 movies. So
Okay.
we all assumed
Pros,
3
it's
movies.
my pros is it's a different feel to any other movie. It's not about
Yeah.
It's not exactly about any rebellions. It's not about the Empire.
It's a backstory movie.
Yeah, it's one. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
That's also some of its cons.
Yes. The biggest one I have with it is, which now that I know that he was signed for 3 movies and there was supposed to be more, it kind of could have fixed this had there been more. I feel like Darth Maul just showed up
That's
and
because
Amelia Clark's character
It was
is
supposed to be. He was supposed to be like something to do with the Black Sun or something, and he was supposed to like be involved with them or something. I don't know.
Watch Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
need to.
my cons: we do not have to have everything referenced to Han Solo in this movie. We don't need to
Yeah.
know how he got the name. We don't need the dice. I get that was
Yeah.
kind of important in 8, but we don't need it referenced.
I'd leave the dice, but get rid of the how he got the name.
I like how he got the Falcon.
There's a
Yeah.
yes, because that's actually like matches with like canon that he
Oh,
won
yeah.
it in a game of Sabacc.
Yeah.
But it's just every little trying connecting it backwards into the old movies. It's like, oh my god.
Any cons, Ethan?
I mean, maybe I was a little worried about Woody Harrelson. I don't think he was bad, but it did get a little weird in
He
their
just-
campfire scene.
I think he just
Yeah.
plays Woody Harrelson in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not that
I
that's-
think Woody Harrelson's at the point in his life where he
Yeah.
just plays Woody Harrelson in
not that that's
every
bad.
movie.
He's enjoyable in it. It's just he's the same character. If you've seen Zombieland, it's basically the same guy.
Yeah. Changes. Did we already talk about those? I think it's just we more so go with the cons and say what we would change there.
Release date. Release it after 9.
Yeah.
That would be pushing it a long time.
I don't
Yeah, it
care.
would be pushing it back
would've
pretty
gotten
far.
better reviews.
Something that I thought was interesting that I noticed while I was watching it, Paul Bettany has a coat nail.
Does he really?
Yeah, he's on his right thumb. He's got one extremely long nail, and I was trying to pay attention if any of his other fingers had that nail or if his other thumb had one, and I could never see it on his left hand, but I could see it on his right hand.
Never paid attention to that.
Yep. The only reason I even seen it and went, that looks like a coke nail was because of the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial where they were talking about doing coke together. And so it stuck out immediately when I seen it. So let's go straight into rankings where we roll the magic D&D dice and go from there. Tyler's 1, 2, 3, Tyler's 1, 2, Jarrett's 3, 4, Ethan's 5, 6. And we got a 6. Ethan, you're up.
Rankings.
Yep.
I'm just gonna do more like groups.
Yeah,
but
let's
the
just do
first one-
sagas.
So like I would say,
And then we can name our favorite.
Oh well.
5 is definitely my favorite. The original trilogy is obviously better than the others. The prequels are far and above the sequel series, which is
Which is saying something.
and then the sequel series is obviously last, and then Rogue One and Solo are up there with the original series for me.
So I'm going to jump in whether you're changing yours.
No.
I'm basically the exact same as you. I think 4 was my favorite though. 4 and 5 are right there together, and then Solo and Rogue One are right there together. As far as 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jarrett, though.
It's very similar. 5 is my favorite. And then, I like Rogue One, really like it. It's my third. And then I guess I don't know if I'm the outlier. I really like 7. It's just because
It's high up there on mine. It's 6.
it's 4 on mine. I like it more than Solo or 7 or 6.
See, I like Solo
But for
better.
me, it's because of the memories I associate with it, which is like seeing the crawl back in theaters, which I never thought we'd get. So it's kind of like a sensory thing.
Gotcha.
It holds a special place in my heart. But
All right.
basically, it's the same though.
So we all kind of agree on that.
Yeah.
It makes sense. So that wraps up this episode. If you join us for the next episode, we're going to talk about the TV shows. We're going to talk about some of the video games, and who knows, we may even bring up some books. Thank you for listening, and we hope to see you on the next one.
Goodbye.